Hello everyone, come on in, sit down, join me, get comfortable, because today we need to talk. And if you've seen my title of this video and the thumbnail, you'll know what we need to talk about. It's blue eyeshadow. Now, I've always been a bit terrified of blue eyeshadow, if I'm honest. I was born in the late 70s. And so for me, blue eyeshadow, it's something that my mother's generation wore. And when I think about putting blue eyeshadow on my own face, it conjures up images of Barbara Cartland and people like that. Now, do you know who Barbara Cartland is? If you're my age or above and you're in the UK, you'll know who Barbara Cartland is. If you don't know, just Google her, look her up, look up some images of Barbara Cartland. But her image was very much sort of chiffon dresses, pink chiffon dresses, and bright blue eyeshadow, and I'm talking bright blue. Big blonde hair. She was often in a big hat as well, like a big pink hat, and she'd often have a little fluffy dog with her as well. And that was very much her look that she cultivated for herself. Now, she was very successful. She was a romantic novelist in the 60s and 70s. And I think prior to that as well, in the 50s, she wrote a lot of romantic fiction. And as I say, she was very successful as a novelist, as a businesswoman. She's a very clever lady. But she did have that really unique look. So much so that now whenever I think of blue eyeshadow, that's where my mind goes. And as much as that look worked for her, it's not a look that I want for myself. So yeah, and when you think back as well through the decades with my mother's generation, I mean, my mum was in her 20s in the 60s and 70s, so she had people like Twiggy and Farrah Fawcett and women like that my mum would look at and sort of have as her style icons. And they were very much into the blue eyeshadow look, weren't they? And they were beautiful women, you know. But their look does represent that time period in history, doesn't it? And when you think moving forward into the 80s, we had women like Cyndi Lauper and Madonna, and they would wear their bright colours, wouldn't they, in their makeup and in their clothing and jewellery. And blue eyeshadow and green eyeshadow, it became very popular again in the 80s. But then going forward into the 90s, especially the late 90s, which was when I started buying makeup and learning about makeup, there was definitely a shift happening. We were just coming out of that era of the supermodels. So people like Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, Claudia Schiffer, women like that. Now, they wouldn't wear blue eyeshadow, would they? I mean, when did you ever see Cindy Crawford wearing blue eyeshadow? I don't think I ever have. Pamela Anderson was very big in the 90s. I don't remember seeing her in colourful makeup. She was more about the dark, smoky eye, wasn't she? And that was the era when I started getting into makeup and when I was learning how to do it. My first ever eyeshadow palette that I bought, it was one of the MAC ones, you know, the customizable palettes from MAC that you make yourself, like this one. Still got it. It wasn't this exact one because back then you didn't have the see-through lid. Oh, one's just fallen out. I've just lost one. See how old it is? I mean, these aren't the same shadows that I had then. I have used them up and repurchased them over the years. But when you look at the colours, it's a sea of neutral, isn't it? The browns, the beiges, the greys. These were the colours that I learnt how to do makeup with back then. And in the early 2000s, it was all about that. And then going forward into the 2010s, Urban Decay came out with the Naked palette, didn't they? And that started a whole thing, didn't it? All of the brands seemed to want to get on board with this, and a lot of them brought out their own version of the Naked palette. When you think about Too Faced were popular at the time, they came out with their chocolate bar palette. I had that one in the day and I loved it. And then later on they came out with their Neutralize palette. Do you remember that one? And then they updated the packaging and it became like this. Do you remember this? Beautiful palette. I got the matte version of this, and as you can see, these colours here, very neutral, very just, you know, browns, beiges, a little hint of purple in that middle line there, but very neutral. And this was definitely my comfort zone. And fast forward in time again to more recent years, Natasha Denona brought out some beautiful neutral palettes, hasn't she? My favourite of which is the I Need a Nude. I'm sure you're all familiar with this. A lot of you probably even have it. But these are glorious, aren't they? Absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favourites. So you see, yeah, I'm just giving you a bit of background here, just into what's been going on throughout the decades of history, and sort of where my opinion is, what my preferences are in terms of the eyeshadows that I like to wear. Now, in recent years, I want to say about the last 3 years, it might even be a little bit longer than that, I have noticed a definite shift in the makeup world. The big brands, they've been coming out with more colourful palettes, haven't they? You think about Pat McGrath and her Mothership palettes. There's some really bright colours in there. Some blues, pinks, purples, and people are loving them. They're buying them, they're wearing them. Natasha Denona has come out with some really colourful palettes. Dior has one called Denim, I think it is, that's like bright bluey greeny shades. And Victoria Beckham, she's recently come out with a blue and a green palette. And when you think Victoria Beckham, Posh Spice, she was the queen in the 90s of that neutral, bronzy, browny look, wasn't she? I mean, when you look back at pictures of the Spice Girls and Posh Spice, she was like the sophisticated, elegant one, wasn't she? And she would never have worn blue eyeshadow back then, I don't think. And even she is now coming out with them. So I am thinking to myself, Rebecca, it's time. It's time to dip your toe in this pool of blueness and just have a play and see what you think. Now, last year, around the summertime, I had one of those days where I was feeling a bit adventurous, you know, I was just feeling a bit bolder and a bit braver than usual. And I was in Boots and I was looking at the Lancôme counter, because Lancôme is one of my favourite brands. And I was looking at their eyeshadow palettes. And I don't know what possessed me. I was feeling a bit brave and it was summer. I think that had a lot to do with it. And I bought Lancôme's blue eyeshadow palette. It looks like this, just plain black packaging. The colour's called Denim Drama. And it looks like this. So very, very wearable blues. I mean, these lighter ones here, I mean, I don't know if you could even call them blue. They're more silver, aren't they? Like silvery blues. And down here, they're more like navy blues. So this is, I mean, it's very, very subtle in terms of blue eyeshadow. And because it was so subtle, and because I found it very wearable, I liked it. And I did wear it throughout the summer. And I thought that was really nice. And I didn't feel at all like Barbara Cartland or anything like that. I thought it was nice. And then recently I saw Charlotte Tilbury's new releases, you know, those little 9-pan palettes. What are they called? Charlotte's Palette of Beautifying Eye Trends, they're called. And there's 6 of them, all different colours. I'm sure you've seen them. I was watching reviews on YouTube about these palettes, and the colour that really stood out the most to me was the blue one. It really was. And I saw Hannah from Han Beauty 101 on YouTube. She did a look with the blue palette and it was gorgeous. It was beautiful on her. And I think I have quite a similar colouring to Hannah. And I do find that things that suit her usually suit me as well. So I just thought, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to take the plunge and buy this blue eyeshadow palette. So I did. And it arrived yesterday. And here it is. And it's beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. I know there's been some controversy about the packaging. People think the plastic packaging looks quite cheap, but I don't agree with that at all. When it's in your hand, it's got a lovely weighty feel to it. And I actually like being able to see through the lid see what the colours are. I think it's lovely. And there are some new formulas in here for Charlotte Tilbury. This middle row, they're all mattes. We've got some beautiful shimmers and some sparkle shades as well. And it's just gorgeous. Now, I am slightly terrified, I'm not going to lie. These are not blue colours that I would have felt comfortable with at all until recently. But I've got the palette now, and I'm going to try it out on my eyes, and I'm going to see what I think. And I'd like to do it in front of you all as well, so that you can see what you think and tell me, can I pull this off? You know, I'm 47. Is this a look that I can wear? Let me know what you think, and I'll tell you what I think as well at the end. So I think firstly then, for the look I'm going to do today, I'm going to go in with this lovely sort of denim shade in the middle. It's a matte, and I think of all the shades that would make a nice transition colour. And it's called Denim. This whole palette is called Denim Dimensions. So as you can see, I dressed for the occasion with my denim shirt. Thank you very much. So in we go then with this middle matte shade. Now, a bit nervous, but we'll see. I have already primed my eyelids, so I'm going to go straight in. I'm going to take a bit more on my brush. I had to give my brushes a really good clean for this video, because obviously I don't want any brown or, you know, any residue from my other eyeshadows. Yeah, that is really soft and subtle. I wanted to use a big domed brush, a big fluffy brush like this, because I wanted more of a diffused look. I didn't want anything too harsh. And yeah, that is a beautiful matte. It's not patchy. It's going on lovely, actually, I have to say. Yeah, and it actually matches my shirt really nicely too, as you would expect, being called denim. Oh, wow. It's all right, isn't it? It's not actually that scary. Now, I have green eyes, so I always thought that I can't wear blue because it'll clash with my green eyes. It'd just be a disaster. But actually, I'm quite liking that. And I think a benefit of wearing blue eyeshadow is that it can really make the whites of your eyes look a lot brighter and whiter. Because they say, don't they, if you want to make your teeth look whiter, use a lipstick shade with a bit of blue in it. So, you know, you can get bluey reds or you can get orangey reds. Same with pinks, you can get bluey pinks or you can get warmer pinks. If you wear a shade with a little bit of blue in it, it can make your teeth look whiter. And I think the same is true of the whites of your eyes as well. So let's go in with another colour. I'm going to change my brush now. I'm going to go in with the MAC 217, like that. And where shall I go? Where shall I go now? I think this one is calling to me here, this top one. It's again, it's like it's a similar shade actually when you look, but it's a shimmery version. So let's get some of that on my 217. So this brush is more tightly packed than the one I've just used. I'm going to put that in the outer corner and across my bottom lid and up into the crease. Now, as you can see, I have hooded eyes, so I don't do the outer V shape. Some people do, don't they? They put a darker colour in the outer V, and that can create a nice amount of dimension. I don't do that. I will just take a darker colour and just place it in the outer corner, because I don't have that separation on my eyelid. So that's why I don't do that. If you watch Hannah from Ham Beauty 101, she does do the outer V and it looks beautiful on her. So let's do the same again on the other side. Even things up a bit. Wow, I'm feeling, I don't know, I'm feeling very adventurous here. Ooh, look at that, wow. Yeah, it's different, it's certainly different to me. I think I'm going to have to get used to this. But yeah, so far, It's the beautiful shades, the formula, the quality of the shadows is outstanding. And I knew it would be. I've used Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows before and I've always been impressed with them. Now, let's have a look at this. I want to go in with that, the deep dark shade there. And on the back of these palettes, it does tell you, I don't want to get the reflection of my light in there, but it does tell you the shades and what formulas they are so that you know. So I'm going to go in with a pencil brush like this, just a brush that's got a nice point to it. And I'm going to go in with that shade down there. And I'm just going to go across the lash line and a bit higher up in that outer corner, just to add a bit of dimension. There we go. And that's the most that I will do with my eyeshadow, because I am hooded. I don't do anything. I don't do wings or anything like that on my eyes. Never have really, even when I was younger. I just didn't like that look on me. I've always been a more subtle eyeshadow kind of person. Except today, being very adventurous here, going for the blues. What do you think? I'm going to take a bit of that as well and run it underneath my lash line, because I'm sort of looking at this as a look that I would wear on a night out, like a fun party sort of situation. So I'm going to hold my eyelid here and I'm just going to go underneath with the pencil brush in the outer corner. Oh, wow. Actually, I don't know if it's just me, but I think that's making my green eyes look a bit greener. And that is interesting, isn't it? Because I'm always told I should wear purples to make my green eyes look greener, because purple and green are opposites on the colour wheel. They're meant to enhance each other, aren't they? But I don't know. I think this is doing a good job of it. And you know what? I haven't noticed any fallout. I mean, I know I've not used any shimmers yet, but sometimes you can still get a bit of fallout, can't you, from the more satin shades, which this one is. Yeah, that's lovely. Now, I can't resist this one here. This has got inner corner written all over it, hasn't it? This bright one. So I'm going to go in with my flat brush like this into that white shade there. Ooh. See what this does. A bit more. Okay. I'm just going to carefully place that. In fact, do I want to do it with my finger? I might do it with my finger sometimes. I think you get a better effect with these shimmery shadows with your finger. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, that's lovely. And in there. Oh, yeah. What do you think of that? I really like that. And in the other side. Ooh. Oh, yeah. That's so brightening. Really brightening, isn't it, that? That's lovely. Oh my, I'm seeing myself in a whole new light here. This is really out of my comfort zone. This isn't me at all. But do you know what? I like it. I think I really like it. Do I need to blend? Let me go back in with this fluffy brush and just do a bit of a blend. This will be lovely in the summertime. Definitely, if I go on any summer holidays, anywhere hot and sunny, I'm definitely taking this palette with me. It'd look beautiful. And even just here in the UK on those nice sunny days that we can sometimes get. I really like that. Now, in terms of liner, I've got 3 blue eyeliners. I think last year when I was going through my adventurous phase, I thought I'd try a liner, because sometimes if you just want a neutral eye and wear a coloured liner, you've still got the colour, but it's in a much more subtle way. Now, the first one I've got, it's one of these Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Kohl liners, and it's in the shade Midnight Blue. If I just show you on my hand here, it's really, really, really dark. You see, it is blue, but it's a really, really dark. It's a proper midnight blue, as it says. So there's that one. And the other one I've got is one of these Estée Lauder double wear pencils. I don't know if you've tried these. They're brilliant. They're so good. They last really well. They never transfer onto the upper lid. This one is in the shade Sapphire Sky. And again, I did wear this last summer and I loved it. Let me show you. Ooh. Now it's a much lighter, brighter blue, isn't it, than the Charlotte Tilbury one? But it's absolutely gorgeous. If you have blue eyes as well, I mean, I don't know, would you wear this with blue eyes? I think I would. I think that would be really nice. And the last one, it's one of the Dior eyeliners. What's this called? It's called the Dior Show 24-Hour Stylo Intense Waterproof Eyeliner. And this one is in the shade Matte Blue. So this is a retractable pencil as well. I love a retractable pencil. So let me show you this one. There you go. So it's kind of in between, isn't it? It's not as light as the Estée Lauder and it's not as dark as the Charlotte Tilbury. It's sort of in between colour. And yeah, which one shall I try? Ooh, I think I might go in. Let's keep it Charlotte Tilbury, shall we? I think I'm going to go in with her Midnight Blue. Just across the upper lash line, just to thicken up that lash line a bit. So again, I'm going to hold my skin taut and I'm going to just gently go across like this. Just very gently. And I'm going to go underneath and tight line as well. Oh, that always feels a bit strange. What do you think? Same on the other side. That's across the lash line. And underneath. Yeah, love that. It's really nice. These are great pencils too. I don't know if you've tried these Rock and Kohl from Charlotte Tilbury. And now I want to put some mascara on. And my favourite, if you've watched my videos before, is the YSL Lash Clash in the black waterproof. So let's go in with some of this on the top lashes there. Makes such a difference, doesn't it? As soon as you put mascara on. I think whatever eyeshadow look you've gone for, it just really brings it out when you get your lashes on. All right, okay. And there we are. What do you think? I think I really like it, you know. I do. It's definitely different. Would I wear it during a daytime, like a typical day going to the supermarket? No, I wouldn't. But would I wear it on a night out? Yeah, I absolutely would. Would I wear it in the summer if I'm maybe if I am going out in the daytime, depending on what the occasion is? Yeah, definitely would. But it's not going to be an everyday daytime palette for me, but I definitely have a place for it in my eyeshadow wardrobe, shall we say, definitely. Now, I just want to finish off my face. In terms of blush, if I'm wearing blue eyeshadow like this, I don't want to go anywhere near pink. Pink and blue, that gives the Barbara Cartland vibes, which we've already talked about, haven't we? I want to steer away from that look. I want to go in with a very, very neutral sort of browny kind of blush, and I'm going to use my Estée Lauder blush. I don't know why nobody talks about Estée Lauder blushes on here. They're amazing. You get a massive pan size like that. What is the pan size? It's 7 grams. You get 7 whole grams. The colours are beautiful. They last all day. Lovely satin finish. Just move my hair out of the way. I think they are beautiful. I've got 3 different colours. They're very pigmented as well, so you only need a small amount. Let's put some on this side too. So yeah, I wouldn't wear pinks if I'm wearing blue. Put a bit up there as well, a bit on the nose, just for balance. Now for lips, again, I'm going to keep it really, really neutral. And I'm staying with the Charlotte Tilbury theme. I'm sure you can all guess what I'm going to use. But before I use that product, I'm going to go in with one of her Lip Cheat lip liners. And this is in the shade Super Size Me. So just over the outer rim of my lip. On the top. and the bottom. Like that. I don't overline my lips at all. I know some people do, don't they, if they want their lips to look a bit fuller. I don't do that. And of course, you've all guessed it, I'm going to go in with the iconic Pillow Talk, the original Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury, because it's just, it's a nude, isn't it? It's classic nude that I think goes nicely with a more colourful eye look. So let's put some of this on. I really like it. I've surprised myself here. But yeah, I wouldn't wear it on a typical day out in daylight though. I'm not that brave yet, but who knows, maybe I will be. If I wanted a more subtle daytime blue look, I would reach for one of my other Charlotte Tilbury palettes, one of these quads that she does. And this is in the shade Uptown Girl. Now this isn't a blue palette, this is a grey palette. But on me, these grey shades here, they do look blue on me. And so if I was to use these for a daytime and maybe even pair it with one of my blue liners, I think that would be a really nice look for a daytime. But let me know what you think. What do you think of this look? Can I pull it off? Does it go with my denim shirt? I think it does. Do you love blue eyeshadows yourself? If so, let me know, which ones do you use? Do you hate blue eyeshadows? Would you not go near them with a barge pole? Let me know. Or are you somebody a bit like me who's in the middle, sort of a little bit scared but willing to dip a toe in and just experiment and have a try? Have you heard of Barbara Cartland? Do you know who she is? Have you read any of her books? Tell me what you think. Let's get a conversation going down in the comments. I think that could be really interesting. And yeah, so far I'm impressed. The quality of the shadows, I've got something on it there. The quality of the shadows I think is really, really good. And if you've been thinking about it, if you're not sure, I would go for it. So yeah, recommended. So I hope you're all having a lovely day so far. Thank you so much if you've subscribed. If you're still here and you haven't, it would be lovely if you did, and then you wouldn't miss any of my future videos. So hope you're having a great day, and I will speak to you in my next video. Bye.